Tattoo Talk with Jeremy. Now, this is a weird one because I'm on this app on my phone talking about stuff, so we're going to film that. Alright. So, yeah, man. Supposedly orbiting around, there's a Tesla fucking car. And that is impossible because it had to go through the thermosphere. And the thermosphere temperature is over 3,000 degrees. This Tesla car is made out of a glass windshield, rubber tires, aluminum, plastic, steel. Steel melts at 2,750 degrees. They're in the 3,000s. That would melt. It's not floating around. I watched a live stream. As it passes over Earth, Earth has no continents. No continents at all. And Earth may be moving, but the clouds are not. It's not real. It's not up there. It's fake. It's a hoax. So, right now, live stream looks like CGI. Exactly, Richard. It is. I believe that it is. You know? So, here, I got a question for you. Do you believe in the ISS? Do you think the ISS is real? What do you think of the International Space Station? Not sure. Alright, here. If you're able to, dude, if you can right now, if you like, other than your phone, if you're on your phone now, if you can go to a computer, go to YouTube, go to ISS Live Feed, go look at it. Here's the deal. That's not up there neither, man. It's in the stratosphere. We went over the temperature. The thing's not made out of steel even. It's mostly aluminum because it would have to be light enough to get up there, and aluminum melts at way under 3,000 degrees. Now, here's what you got to take into consideration. When you're watching the live stream of the International Space Station, you'll see the view is always blocked by parts of the space station so that you cannot get a good, clear, concise picture ever. Earth is always blocked. It's not a great picture. There are no stars in the sky. They say it's because the sun washes them out. I don't believe it. I think it's because we see the same constellations day after day, year after year, the same stars in the sky. If they faked the stars, they would have to make sure that they're in their proper placement at all times. That would be impossible for them to do. That's why you don't see any stars. You're still there, Richard? Can I keep going telling you why I think it's not real and then have you tell me what you think about it? Still there? It's installed into most people. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, you get it. Richard put, it's installed into most people to just nod and agree, but yeah, dude, still here. All right. So, Richard, here, check this out. Right now, orbiting Earth. Thanks, Richard, for the favorite, man. Thank you. Thanks, dude. Real talk over here. Also, okay, where am I at? Sorry. ISS. Orbiting Earth right now, there's over 2,000 satellites. When you go look at the ISS live stream, you don't see any satellites. You don't see any. Now, other than the satellites, there's over 500,000 pieces of space junk orbiting Earth. And on the ISS International Space Station live feed, you don't see any of it. None of it. You also, when you watch the live stream, you never see any planes flying. It's a no-fly day, I guess, for some reason or something, you know? So that's always funny, too. When you watch the live feed, you'll see the clouds never move, ever. They never move. I would like them to take that camera and turn it around. I want to see a 360-degree full turnaround of space. Because I don't think that they're up there. I don't at all. Also, one other thing, man, that most people don't know. The ISS, the International Space Station, I noticed that with the Tesla live stream and the space station stream. I have no debris or satellites. I doubt there. Yeah. Think of all the damage that car would have had, hitting satellites and freaking space junk. The paint job is pristine. The windshield's pristine. You notice in the Tesla space car there's no rearview mirror. Again, because of the stars, the constellations. They'd have to make sure the stars were correct even in the rearview mirror behind them. That's why there's no rearview mirror. It's not real. It's not real. And also, the ISS space station is moving 17,000 miles an hour. 17,000. How do people dock? How do they go to and from that? It doesn't stop. How do you dock at 17,000 miles an hour? You don't. You don't. They're not doing it. No one's up in space. Only low Earth orbit. That's what I think. So, after that, man, you think those are some, good enough points, maybe? About NASA lying and taking our money. I think it's $19 billion a year to give us CGI live streams. I don't know, man. I strongly agree. On top of that, Google Earth blocks. Oh, man. Blocks out numerous locations, especially islands and Antarctica. I definitely think they're a cover for something. All right, Richard. Did you know that you and I, allegedly, from what I hear, that we're not allowed in Antarctica? The only way that we can go is under supervised special trips that are at least with government or people who know. Like if you and I were millionaires and we wanted to, hire a boat to take us there or a plane, we wouldn't be able to. We can't. It's since 1958, I think, the United Nations, the group that runs the world, made the Antarctic Treaty, which states that no one can own it. No nation can own it. No one can live there. No one can explore it independently. You can only be there. They have to know that you're there and such. I want to look more into the trip and such. Not that I'm going to go because I don't have the money. But when can the United Nations all agree on something? When can they all agree on something and not have anyone, and everyone's okay with it? The entire United Nations who controls the world are like, okay, no one can go to Antarctica. And everyone's like, yep, okay. And it's been in place since 1958, never broken. Yeah, those supervised tours, thanks for the hearts, guys. Those supervised tours, it's ridiculous. They claim it's a place of world peace, yeah? Because Admiral Byrd went there and had a couple of interviews on a live television thing. And I'd like to believe him, but I also, thanks for the hearts again. I'm not sure sometimes because I hear that he was funded by the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. And since they pretty much control a lot of everything, I'm not sure what to think about that. I listened to Lil Peep, G-Eazy, Eminem, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. Ah, yeah! All right. Good. That's good stuff, haters. Hell yeah. So this Antarctica, Admiral Byrd went there and said that he got to a nice wall that was like a couple 100 feet tall or something. They climbed it and said that there was more land. Exactly, Richard. You know what I'm talking about. I've heard an interview, he said most people would be surprised how much land's there. I heard that they also, in that same interview, they had a meal and left it there and they came back like a year or two later and it was still good. He said that there should be no reason for world hunger and that like it's a reservoir of keeping things fresh and new resources. And then once he came back and said that there was more land, the United Nations made the treaty and no one could go. It's kind of like they don't want you to know there's more land because maybe it's like the Pilgrim days, when they flew Mayflower or whatever to leave taxing. If we think there's no more land, then they have us under control, where if there is more land, then, it could be something to look into. It's really interesting, I think. So, Richard, since you know about this interview and stuff, man, I gotta ask you one thing. Oh, the temp keeps things from degrading. The temperature keeps things from degrading, and true, they may want it for backup plan or something if shit goes south. Yeah, the temperature, yeah, you're right. They want it for backup, yeah. Okay, so here, I got a question for you. So, like, you know a lot about this type of stuff, like moon landing and now Antarctica and stuff. I want to, like, ask something else, but not totally say what I'm thinking to see if you know what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen water curve? Are they like 33rd degree ones and all that? Brother, grandfather Masons. Are you too? Are they all up high degree and stuff? Because I don't know much about Masons. I'd love education on it. If you have any, you can dole out. Alright, well, how about back to the space real quick? Are you still there, Richard? A brother's third or fourth grandfather, I'm not sure, he was way older. Never got to meet him. Oh, alright. That's cool, man. And, back to the space. Do you believe in satellites? Space satellites? He was alive during the first government documentations of Indians. His name's... I don't think it would. I don't think it wouldn't be possible. What about, alright, Richard, what do you think about dinosaurs? Do you think they existed? He owned one of the first cars in Colorado way back in the day and inherited thousands of acres from him. Nice, man. Very cool. Good for you. Do you think dinosaurs are real, man? Ooh, dinosaurs are tricky. Well, they never found a full skeleton, man. Right? Right? Never found a full skeleton. They weren't discovered till I think the 1850s. It's kind of weird that no other culture other than the white man was first to find it when there's been other settlers around. Like you say, Richard put, yeah, and only fragments. they find like, maybe 7 freaking bones, and then they outline the rest of it and say, yeah, we found this one little bone, but its head looked like this, Doesn't make sense, man. And tell me, Richard, since, you seem kind of awake, not kind of, I'm sorry, you seem awake, man. How, a stegosaurus, the one that has those horns on its back, that a stegosaurus, how'd they bang? Sure not missionary. Like Jake Gibson says, her freaking horns would be deep in the freaking ground. Not doggy, he'd get hurt. Somehow, they got no arms to hold on to each other. It's, how do they mate? How do dinosaurs bang? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm leaning more towards no. The fact that, the museums have replicas, not even the real ones there, I don't know if I can believe it, dude. True, how they assume the organs and how they... Yeah, dude, they assume. It's a theory, basically. It sounds like, hey, Richard, I bet you're hip on theories, right? Are you? Theories are just ideas that can't be proven. Exactly. Assume, dude, and yes, sir. All right. So tell me, Richard, do you think gravity is really what it is? Do you think there's an invisible force holding everything to the earth? An invisible force in the middle holding everything onto earth. Do you think that? Because isn't gravity a theory? What do you think, Richard? Yeah, true. That's a tough one. Here's what I want you to think about, man. I want to know how gravity can keep trillions of gallons of water onto a spinning ball, but it can't hold, I don't know how many trillions of tons clouds are. Gravity holds water to Earth, but not clouds. Gravity decides when it wants to work. It holds water to Earth, but not a gnat, not a mosquito. Like I could get a magnet, a strong enough one, hold it at the top of my hand, and then, put a nail or something metal on the bottom of my hand. The magnet will hold that metal up. That magnet is stronger than gravity. And then after I say that, Richard has for real. Any size ball throws everything off it. Couldn't make lakes and dips and waterfalls. That's one thing too, now that you bring it up, waterfalls. Water always finds its own level. It seeks its own level, and it becomes flat, man. When you fill up your bathtub, it's flat water. When you fill up your sink, it's flat water. You fill up a bowl, a pot. You fill up a cup, a bottle. You fill up anything with water, and it's always level. So I need someone to tell me, if water finds its level and 70% of the world is water, how does it curve around a ball that's spinning 1,000 miles an hour? How does that happen? And Richard says, true. Not possible to have a sphere of water besides ice, laugh out, but that's solid. So, man, also, They say the Earth is moving 1,000 miles an hour. Now, not only is Earth going going 1,000 miles an hour, but it's also moving around the sun at a speed. And the sun is also moving at a speed through the galaxy. The galaxy is moving through the solar system, and the solar system is also moving. Everything is moving and hurling and twirling and going through outer space at trillions of miles an hour. Now, if we're on a ball moving through space, how come we see the same stars, the same constellations, day after day, year after year? Shouldn't, if we're moving through space, shouldn't those stars be left behind years ago? I don't know. I'm just asking. What do you think? What do you think? If you're still there listening, maybe I went on too much. Anybody there who wants to weigh in on this subject of how water curves around a ball? You still there, Richard? There we go. What throws me is how can we be spinning in moving position yet be held in a pattern? What if we're not moving? What if we're not moving? What if we are actually the center of the universe and the moon and the sun and the stars revolve around us? Sounds more logical. Richard says that sounds more logical. And see, a lot of people would think that sounds crazy. But I feel like I've woken up to a few things. Now, here's something also I want people to think about. We're on a ball Earth, right? When you see a shooting stars, they usually go like horizontal or down. I have never once in my life seen or heard of anyone else ever seeing a shooting star go up. If we're on a ball floating through space, blackness all around us, why are we only seeing shooting stars coming down or horizontal? We should see them going in completely different directions at all times. I think that makes sense to me. What do you think, Richard? Agree. Check that out, right? Okay. So, you've been in a plane before, right? So, you're on a plane, right? You're flying, from somewhere to somewhere. You're on a globe. You're flying on a globe. Why is the plane not constantly tipping down to accommodate for flying over a curved ball? Why is I've been in a plane and it's always like that, except for the takeoff. Takeoff is like that. Then it levels. Then it goes back down. If we're on a ball, a plane should be curving. Guess what? I took a level onto a plane. I saw D Marble do it. I took a level on a plane, and the level once we reached our flying altitude or whatever, I filmed it for like 35 minutes. The level stayed level. A couple of times, the bubble went to the top because we actually had to point up a little bit. So since we were on a plane and it wasn't curving, we were flying straight, and Richard asked, why aren't lakes or oceans even slightly curved? Well, first you got to remember too, they call it sea level. Sea level. It's sea level. It's not sea curve. It's not sea curve. It's sea level. So, all right. I think yeah. Ooh, true, Richard put. So, and they use water on levels. They use water on levels because water is level. It doesn't curve. It's always level and seeks its own level. So, I guess what I'm getting at, which I've been beating around the bush, and now I'm just going to say it. After saying all this, I believe that we live on a flat and motionless plane. Not a planet, but a plane. I'm one of those people. I think the Earth is flat. And you know what? How I started? I went to go debunk it. I'm like, this is crazy. This can't be true. Flat Earth? So I went online, I looked at a couple of videos. And instead of nonsense, found lots of truth. Lots of truth. Lots of common sense things. Come on. They say the Earth is moving at 1,000 miles an hour. We're not feeling it. When I get on an escalator at a mall, it's moving 2 miles an hour. I can tell a difference. I can tell a difference in movement. I can't believe it. I don't. You're telling me right now we're on a ball spinning around, and right now, underneath me, there's someone standing upside down. You're telling me right now there's a boat underneath me, upside down? There's water held upside down? Nah. Nope, don't buy it. I was indoctrinated. 41 years. I thought I lived on a spinning ball. Not now. The Earth is flat. Earth is flat. That's it, If it was moving at 1,000 miles an hour, we should be able to take a hot air balloon up and stay up there for an hour and then come down, and the Earth should move. It's not gonna. It's not going to. Richard says, I wouldn't tell everyone because I hate the negative haters, but anyone without government-fed bullshit would say it's flat, I think. I agree with you, Richard. I agree. And you know what? I'm just saying it on Meet Me. And see, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel where I talk about that, and tattooing and chemtrails and other things, 9/11 and such. So that's why I think it's cool to take a little video like this of me talking to someone about it, and posting that for people to see. I'd like to make a YouTube video out of this little conversation if you're good with that. School teachers in my past couldn't even explain most of those logically, and yeah, man, definitely. Thanks, man, very much. Oh, here, you want to know something really interesting, guys? If you go to, say, like Walmart or Target, anywhere that sells a globe, man, go look at a globe, and you'll see that at the bottom it says, not intended for educational purposes, only meant for decorative purpose. A globe isn't meant for educational. Why? Are the continents too close together? Not the right size? Maybe it's because we don't live on a globe. Maybe. I don't know. I'll say there's been tests. Michelson Morley experiment didn't detect any movement at all. And Airy's failure as well. And then Einstein came up with the theory of relativity to save the world, to make sure that they didn't lose grasp of their ball. But, alright, enough about that. Sorry, I guess that was a little bit of a... I don't know if that's a rant or not, but I think that's pretty cool, man. You know, get some footage of me talking to someone about this, you know. We got 68 people in the room, you know, so people might be listening, they might be sleeping, I don't know. But, you know, and it just started with, you know, playing music and me doing my drawing. So, dude, Richard, man, it was good talking with you, man. And hopefully you'll favorite so that you can see me again or add me as a friend or something or other. This is the first time I went live, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing and such. I want to put this up on YouTube, though, to see, you know, how I want people to see that I am talking about it with people. I'm bringing up, I think, good logical things to think about. You know, they make sense. They make sense to me, you know? Yeah? I don't know. You know, like, one of my favorite things I like to joke about is, let's say, you know, let's say this is true. We live on this. If we drill a hole, you know, directly through the middle, through the core, everything, if we could drill a hole through it, and then put a tube, alright, Richard says, portions are way off, is what I've heard from plenty of travelers, laugh out, and hell yeah, maybe it'll spark knowledge, and yeah, dude, plus to share. Alright, yeah, good. Now, if we drilled a hole through Earth, through the core, put like a tube of something, you know, whatever, lead, I don't know, gold, tube, so that you could jump through and go to the bottom of the Earth. If you did that, if you jumped feet first, would you come out feet first? Since, you know, everything's upside down, would you come out on your head and everyone would look at you crazy? Is there like a little switch in the middle of the world where you all of a sudden gravity switches? You know, like, doesn't make fucking sense to me. Doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. I know it's impossible to do, but, you know, if you jumped head first, then you would come out right side up. But then I don't know. And, you know, people like to say, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? For the people who believe in the ball, I think, was it Morgile said, he's got a great video on it, Morgile. Check him out, YouTube, the Morgile. What came first, the gravity or the sphere? You know, because you need a, you know, whatever. So it's good. Terrifying if you just get stuck in the middle, flipping back and forth, right, man? You know, doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram too. Jeremy Youngman. But okay, I'm gonna put this camera down now. I'm gonna finish up this drawing and get back to the music actually, because, you know, enough of this good talk and everything. And actually, I gotta say, you know, I got 30, almost 35 minutes of recording, and there's not been one person on here calling me stupid, idiot, or retarded. So that's rare, you know. Like I said, 68 people watching, listening to this, you know. So I don't know, man. It's yeah, it's cool stuff. So all right, this is usually Tattoo Talk. What's your Insta, brother? Instagram is Jeremy, Jeremy. Awesome, AWESUM. Youngman, Youngman. Jeremy Awesome Youngman. And I got a lot of good stuff on there too. Well, I'm going to have more stuff. I'm going to get a YouTube up and going too. But, yeah, so, alright. This was Tat 69 watchers. Alright, I'd like to send off with that. Jeremy Awesome. AWESUM, no E at the end. And then Youngman after that. Young and Man put together. Alright. So now, this was Tattoo Talk with Jeremy Youngman, but there wasn't much tattoo talk at all. It was more other talk. So, that's it for this episode. 35 minutes. And that's not bad. Wake up, stay woke, question everything.